3406.
Hi, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Sierra Yankee 1 Echo Bravo Echo from Greece. My name is Nikos, and this is the Problem to Your Solution channel. Today I have with me a radio from TYT. You're gonna see it in many channels, I believe, from now on. It's a radio that seems to be perfect in many ways, and we're gonna see it today, and I think in other videos in the future also. At the moment, I believe that this video in my channel is going to be one of the first videos in YouTube about this radio. So let's have a look at it. The model name of this radio is UVL-15W. 15W is because, as it says on the box, this is provided as a 15-watt radio. And I have to say that at least I haven't seen another radio rated this high. A handheld radio, I mean, rated this high. This is a surprise. I don't know how it will perform. I hope I can connect my power meter because I don't have the correct adapter, but I will give it a try. So it's rated for 15 watts, which is quite high for a handheld radio. On the other hand, I have to say, after a few days working with this radio, that it looks like a desktop radio minimized to be handheld. That's the best description I can give at the moment, although it sounds strange. So 15 watts might be a good rating for it. Let's do the unboxing and we'll go on from there. Okay, we have a user manual with quite interesting instructions in here. You will find this useful, believe me, if you ever get your hands on this radio. Okay, let's start from the easy part. We have a charger base, which is USB-C, I have to say that. Besides the charger base, this comes with a plug adapter. This is for EU, for European Union, and a USB-C cable, which goes to the base, but the battery has also a USB-C adapter for charging. There is a clip that goes on the battery, quite tough one, I had to say. It was kind of difficult to get it on the battery. The spring is very hard. And this is the battery. It's quite big. Actually, it's 3,800 milliamps. So, as you can understand, a huge battery for a handheld. Again, I say it's 3,800 milliamps. And it's rated at 11.1 volts. We'll see it in a minute, and this is the radio body, as you can see, with a huge screen. And let's put the battery on. Okay, before continuing, I want to show you this. The battery has a locking mechanism, which is quite nice. This definitely shows attention in the design of this radio. You can see now here the locking mechanism of the battery. This way you can pull this down to remove the battery, but if I pull it the other way, it's kind of hard, but it can be done. If I pull it down all this way, it's locked in place, so you can't remove it. That's an excellent thing. I haven't seen it again on a battery like this. Okay, we have seen batteries that screw on the body of the radio and stuff like that, but I haven't seen this kind of locking mechanism. Quite interesting and useful, I guess, because it's a huge battery and quite heavy of a radio. So let's see the body for a minute outside. Here we have the classic Kenwood 2-pin plug. I'll tell you about the cable that you need for this radio later. And here we have the PTT button and two other buttons here. I guess, as I saw, they are called PF1 and PF2. And a standard keyboard with two arrows up and down in front. And up here we have another button, an orange one, a rotary knob encoder, on-off, and the antenna plug, which is not the standard SMA connector that we see in handheld radios, but instead this is a TNC connector. I didn't have another TNC antenna, and also I didn't have a TNC adapter to the power meter, but I think I will MacGyver something out. This is a strong warning, don't do this at home. I'll do it here for the purposes of the video. Now, let's power this thing on and see what it offers. Okay, so we have a full color screen, quite big as you can see. And for countries like Greece that have a lot of sunlight, I say with pleasure that finally we have white background and dark letters, and not the opposite, as it's used in many radios nowadays, which is black background and white letters. I know that the black background with white letters is more, I don't know how to say it, sexy, maybe, but this is more usable in bright sunlight. A little bit more usable in bright sunlight, okay, but it's more usable, that's the important thing. So, we have a full screen display here, and quite bright in full brightness, as I have set it here. Let's see the interface a little bit. Up here we have, I changed that in the settings, a rotating symbol for the battery. As you can see, it shows the icon and the voltage. So we have 11.9 volts at the moment, and the battery is full, the battery icon. Two VFOs here on the screen, and I have to say that now it doesn't have two VFOs just on the screen, it has two receivers inside. So we actually mean a dual VFO radio. This is why this radio can also act as a true crossband repeater, because it has two receivers inside, not just one alternating between up and down. It has two different receivers inside. Quite a great feature, if you ask me. I have seen only one other radio in this channel doing this thing and having two receivers inside. It's amazing for me, okay? And let's see what else is in the box and continue from there. We have two antennas. One big one looks like a copy of the 771 classic antenna, and one smaller one. Of course, both come with TNC connector. Let's put this on. TNC is like BNC, but it's with a screw. That's the biggest difference. Of course, as you can understand, it has a better standing on the radio than the BNC. The BNC is bayonet, it's easier to remove. I have to get some adapters for this thing here. Now, let's have a quick look here about the keys and the menu system. I will show you the menu system first and what the buttons here do later, and you will see why. Pressing the pound key, the hash key, on the keyboard alternates between 4 different operations of each VFO. So now I have pressed the hash key, the pound key once, and we went in VFO mode, in which I can enter a frequency from the keyboard. Of course, we can't hear anything at this frequency, only noise. Okay, if I press the pound key one more, we go in a part of the memory that is called as call memory. I have to check further to see what exactly this means, but it seems to also store memory channels in this part of the memory. We have the next one, which is WX. It has the NOA channels encoded in the memory of the radio. They don't have names from what I have seen, and unfortunately here in Greece we don't have NOA, so we're not going to receive anything on those frequencies. And again, we go to the next mode, which is the classic memory mode for the stored channels that we have in the radio. Now, this is what the pound key does down here. It changes between those modes. Okay, and the back key, the red one over here, changes between the two VFOs. And if I long press it, look at that, we have the commercial radio. Okay, let me lower this down because we might also have music copyright issues because this is going to save the world. Anyway, pressing the red back button, long pressing it, activates the commercial radio. I'm going out of this. And let's go to the menu system before showing you anything else. Now, imagine my surprise. The menu system here looks like a smartphone. It's quite interesting. It's a new era for handheld ham radios, the one that we are living in. I have to say that. Also, this is the first radio that I saw a menu entry called AI Vox. It's supposed to have artificial intelligent Vox. Of course, what it actually means is that it activates when you're talking and then it stops transmitting or something like that. But we're going to see a lot of those things in the near future, I believe. We're going to see a lot of AI stuff coming to our handheld radios. I don't know how I feel about this, but this is a reality. Now, let's go back to the menu system. We have the titles displayed up here for what each icon means. Now, the first one is channel set and has all the information for the stored memory channel that we have in the current VFO. As you can see, it has everything in here, as well as APRS receive. This radio has GPS functionality, a quite extensive one, and of course it has APRS. Let's go to the next menu. Okay, we are in radio set, and here we have those functions. The main function of the radio, TRX mode. This is where you select how you want the radio to behave. Okay, we have a single TRX here, which converts the radio to a single VFO. It doesn't use both receivers that it has in the radio, but it uses only one. We have dual standby, as it is selected right now, which is, of course, dual receive and single transmission. We have dual RX. I believe this is only receive in both channels, no transmission. And of course, we have the crossband repeater that I told you in the beginning, which is a true crossband repeater. You can select this from here and activate the options of the crossband repeater in another menu. So I'm going to leave it now in the dual standby. And here is the crossband repeater mode that I told you. We have bidirectional and unidirectional. I believe that you understand what this means. If it's bidirectional, you can talk to one channel and receive from the other and vice versa. And unidirectional is you can use only one of the frequencies set to the crossband repeater to transmit to another frequency only, but you can't receive a reply from that frequency. So let's go back, and here we have the crossband repeater monitor. That is, if you want to also listen what is passing through the crossband repeater in the speaker of this radio, but I have it to off at the moment. I don't need that. We have squelch level, of course, going up to 8. Timeout timer, classic. TX channel, main channel or last call, quite interesting feature. Call hold time, set at 5 seconds. A-band mode, this does the same as we did when we rolled through the available modes in VFO with the ## key. So this is the 4 states that it can go in, as I told you before: memory, VFO, call, and WX, which is the weather, the NOAA frequencies. The same goes for the B band. Squelch tail elimination, tone burst, if you need this to open repeaters in your area. And of course we have scan modes, memory scan type or priority list. You can set some channels as a priority in the CPS of the radio. We're going to see it later. Power save, we have switch on and off, and the delay timer for the power save mode to activate. Let's set it to 5 seconds. Okay. Weather channels. Squelch mode. I'm showing this for our USA viewers because they have the NOAA weather alert system over there, and this will be useful to them. So we have options for the NOAA channels. Squelch mode. Receive mode, as you can see, and decoder reset. And we're back to the top. This is the function menu of this radio. Let's go to the next one, which is display. Of course, we have backlight, display type. We can display all those information at boot time. Language, menu exit timer, memory display mode. Let's see what this is. Oh yes, frequency, number or name and frequency at the same time as I have it. Battery display. I showed you this in the beginning where it alternates the battery icon and the voltage of the battery. It's more informative this way. RX LED, of course, this one up here when you have reception. Signal strength dBm, yes, we want to see the signal strength on screen, and this is back to the top. Sounds, I'm not going to explain all of those here, there are a lot of things. Of course, I have turned the beep off, sorry, I can't stand it. And here is what I told you in the beginning about AI Vox. Here we have the Vox switch, Vox sensitivity and delay, but it's artificial intelligence, of course. Mic gain, I have it at high. Keyboard, locker, auto locker, locker type, and locker delay. An interesting thing we have here in locker type, we can lock the keys, we can lock the knob, and we can lock the PTT also if we want, with this option down here, quite interesting. And over here we have a menu that at first I didn't actually believe I was seeing that, because it's quite great, an amazing job from TYT. You can set extra functions to almost every key of this radio. And this is done by this menu. The side keys, the keyboard, you can set the top key up here. You can set extra functions and what each key does beside its main function from this menu here. I mean, you have all those programmable keys, 16 different programmable keys, short press and long press. I don't know, it's anything anyone could need. I can't even use all of them. That's why I said that this radio, after using it for a few days, I believe that it's a miniature version of a desktop radio. It has so many functions packed in here, which I don't know if I will be able to show them all. I mean, okay, I'll make this first video for the operation of the radio and the menu system and the power metering if we manage to do it, but I have to make the programming another video in the next days. So to go back to what I was saying, we have 16 options to set functions to all the keys and choose what to do with them. So here we have, for instance, the PF1 and PF2 keys, short press and long press. Let's go inside. I'll cycle through the options quickly so you can see what you can actually use to set. We have here TX power, dupe reverse, FM radio switch, channel type switch, emergency alarm, APRS stations, squelch level, tone scan, none, you can set it to do nothing, Vox activate, beacon transmit, monitor scan, scrambler, talk around, noise cancellation, frequency scan, and we're back to TX power. I mean, so many options, so many options. The same options can be set to every key. This is, for instance, the PF1 long press, and we have again the PF2 down here. I have set it to monitor. PF2 long press, I have set it to beacon TX. Top key, this one. Let's see what I have here. Single press, I have set it to none, and I have set the long press to emergency alarm. All the keys down here on the keypad that you can program have only a long press function. I believe that this goes without explaining. Of course, they work as normal keyboard keys, but the alternate function has to be in a hold position. So you have all 9 keys, all 9 numbers to be programmed and have a secondary function with pressing them down. For instance, here I have set 9 to tone scan. Okay, so let me get out of this menu for a moment to show you those functions. For instance, we said the top key, if I press it once, it says function none. Okay, but if I keep it pressed, we have the alarm. And let's see, for instance, what I have set to PF1. One press, we change power, transmission power. Very easy, nice. This radio has also very nice graphics, I have to say that. Quite pleasant graphics on the screen. And long press PF1, I have set the squelch level to be changed. Okay, go here and then go up and down. We change the squelch level. And PF2 long press, I don't have the GPS fix, so I can't transmit the APRS data, but I will show you this later. And short press, we open the monitor. Okay, and 9, we have the tone scan, as I have set it in the menu. So anyone transmitting in this frequency with a CT, CSS or a DCS tone, if it was transmitting at the moment, I would receive and decode it. Okay? Perfect, let's continue to the menu. It has a lot of options. We were at keyboard, we saw all the programmable keys, as we said, 16 of them, 16 options for you to program. And this is the other options in the menu. Actually, this is a reset menu, so I'm not going to use it. Settings menu, init. Okay, init, it's, I don't know, is it English slang? VFO init. But of course it means initialize, so this is the reset menu, which I'm not going to use at the moment. The next icon, which looks like a game icon, well, it's not a game icon, it's the FM radio. Okay, we saw FM radio in action before. Here we can activate it from this menu. The mode, VFO mode or memory mode, you can store your favorite commercial FM radio channels in this radio. And here is the station list. I have set only one. The next icon is APRS. Again, a lot of options here. My call sign, I have set it in this menu. My SSID 7 for the APRS, since it's a handheld radio and I use it on the move. I have set the jogger icon. Of course, you can select a lot of other options here and the icon that it corresponds in the APRS system. Okay, most used ones are the car and the walking. Here's the home with the Yagi antenna. I'm not going to change those. Okay. Encoder set. Look at those options. I mean, in the APRS, so many stuff. Destination call sign. For the APRS system that we're using here in Greece, I have set this to APRS. Of course, you can change this if you want to send your APRS data to a specific station. This is a generic one, so I put APRS here. The SSID, I set it to 0. Comment, you can write a comment that will appear in the APRS data that is sent. Transmission channel, you can set a lot of channels also. If you have different APRS channels, you can set up to 7 different APRS stations. Here in Greece, we use 144.8 MHz, so this is what I have set to channel 0. Repeater, you have to give instructions for the APRS system, so I have set this as wide 1 and wide 2, as I usually do here in Greece. TX beacon type, you can set 2 options, GPS beacon when the radio receives and locks on GPS data, which we're going to see in a minute, and the fixed beacon, which you can set a predetermined GPS position to be sent to the APRS system. Manual TX, I have it to off. Okay, in which band it will transmit manually, and TX timer. Auto TX timer, I have set it to on at the moment. I will show it to you later. You can, of course, set it to a timer, so every 30 seconds, for example, it will send your APRS position to the APRS network. Fixed info, this is for the fixed beacon that we saw earlier in the menu. You can set latitude and longitude here, and the altitude, of course. Pre-carrier, that's for the APRS. Okay, TX delay, yes. Timers for the APRS. TX local time, on. And that's it. An extensive APRS menu. Almost all options are present. Decoder set. This is when the radio receives APRS data from the network. It can decode them. And the station list, which is empty here, I believe that this is all the information that will be displayed when this radio receives APRS data from someone else. It will display everything here as their position and stuff like that. So this was the APRS menu. Another quite big and extensive menu in this radio from TYT. Just a reminder, this is the UVL-15W. And here we have the GPS menu, this one here. GPS switch on and off. I will set it to on at the moment. GPS mode. Look at this. So many options, 3 systems. We have the classic GPS, the USA system, BDS, which is the Chinese satellite system, GPS and BDS, GLONASS. These are all the pairings that one could do between the various GPS systems. Unfortunately, it doesn't have Galileo, the European system, but okay, I don't know if it works properly in the radios. So we have the GPS and GLONASS, BDS and GLONASS, and all the options GPS, BDS and GLONASS activated at the same time. So it can receive data from multiple satellite sources. Time zone set, as I said before, I am in Greece. You have to set this correctly. I am in Greece, so at the moment we have UTC +2 and position info over here. You will get all the information. Look at this. All the information that is received from the satellites will be displayed here. Your position, your altitude, date and time, and the compass up here, and satellite info. Another amazing menu in this radio with this great screen. Down here you can see the systems. It has, from what I can see, it has Galileo. Here are all the different systems, GPS, BDS, GLONASS. You can see them over here. And I can see that it also has Galileo, but it's not activated. Maybe in a future firmware upgrade. I don't know what to say. I mean, such an extensive GPS menu I have only in my smartphone. Okay, although I am inside, we already have received data from GPS satellites. You can see them here. 6 from GPS. I can see also some gray ones. Let's see if we have a position fix. Yes, we have a position fix. Great. Amazing, totally. I mean, I really love this detail and what they have done in the operating system of this radio. I don't know if I could ask for more, to say the truth. Okay, right, we have 7 satellites locked at the moment from the GPS system, and we have, of course, the position. Next menu is Bluetooth. This radio has also Bluetooth, and it can connect to an external Bluetooth speaker, an external Bluetooth PTT button, as we have seen from other companies. You can switch Bluetooth on and off here. This is the speaker control and the internal speaker and microphone control of this radio if you connect it to a Bluetooth device, if you want also to hear what is spoken from the speakerphone of the radio or just the Bluetooth speaker. So those two options inside the speak control and inside mic control, probably you want to set them to off. Bluetooth speaker gain and Bluetooth mic gain. Okay. Next one, signal system. Those are for the countries that use those type of systems. For instance, I think 5-tone is used in Germany. DTMF, okay, it's worldwide, but I don't know who needs it and who uses it. I don't, but I'm sure that some of you will use it and need it. You can set ID, splitter symbol, group symbol, dialer type, encoder and decoder, PTT ID list, DTMF memory, and let's go to 5-tone for instance, maybe for our German friends. Decoder, PTT ID list again, add code list. Okay. So this is what is called here as a signal system, the DTMF 5-tone and 2-tone options. Okay, next menu is channel info. It's a read-only menu. You can't change directly from this menu. This is what is stored to your memories from the CPS of the radio, from the computer. We're going to see it in the next video. And this is a read-only, so you can see all the information that is stored for the channel that is in the current VFO. And the last icon is called radio info, which has this exclamation mark here, and has, again, it's a read-only menu and has the information of this device. Radio model, as you can see, UVL-15W. The battery voltage at the moment is 11.84 volts. The device ID, hardware version, and software version. The firmware version of this radio at the moment of this video is 2.10.12, and the build date is 12th of October 2025. Here we have the GPS symbol, since it has locked my position. It's steady and showing up here. And now we also, since we got the GPS data, we have the time, the local time displayed in the upper right corner of the screen. And since we're here, I'm just going to show you the scanning function because, okay, it's a standard scanning function, nothing special for the memories of the radio or the VFO, it doesn't matter. But I'd just like to show it to you for the speed of it. I mean, I don't know what kind of CPU is in this radio, memory or operating system, but the speed is very, very good in scanning. So you can activate scanning either by a shortcut that you put in the long press of the keypad, as I said, or by pressing the up and down buttons and holding them. So I will hold the down button, for instance, and it started scanning my memories. As you can see how fast it is. I mean, just look at that. It just stopped now because I have timer in scanning. Here's one more time. I don't have reception of this frequency in here. Obviously, it catches some noise. But the speed is just amazing. Okay. Wow, this was a long video just showing the menu options. And maybe you think that we're done. And I would like also to be done for this video, but I am not, because this video has more to show. So I will try to do a power test at the moment. I don't have the correct adapter, the TNC adapter, but I will MacGyver something out. Don't do this at home. This is my responsibility only if something goes wrong. So let's see the power output of this radio. I'm going to change to a channel that I know that is not used in Greece. For instance, GMRS 3. I am not allowed to transmit, of course, to this frequency here in Greece, but I'm a licensed ham radio operator and I can do a small test. So this is quite bad, what I'm doing to measure the power. This is the ground that I'm holding. Now, we're going to set this to low power, okay? We are in GMRS frequency 3, which is a UHF frequency, and I'm going to press PTT in the low power to see what my meter gives. 4 watts, 4.6 watts. Okay, let's go to mid power. Just for some people that will say that this is not an accurate test because you're holding the ground and this is not the appropriate connector to do this power test. Yes, I know, and I will redo this test when I receive the adapter, okay? So you can calm down now, have a coffee or a tea, and let's continue with this video. So again, this is UHF at mid power, 10 watts. Wow, this is... I have to set all my channels to low power. Let's go to high power. And we have 13 watts at UHF. Okay, let's check the VHF frequency. I'll reset here my meter. Right, so we have a VHF frequency of 145,600 megahertz. And let me see what we can get from this baby in the low power setting. 5.3 watts, okay. Mid power setting for the VHF, 8.9. And high power setting for the VHF, 13 watts. Okay, now I'm going to say this one more time because I know that some of you will complain and say that I didn't do this test properly. I will do it again, okay? When I receive the adapter for the TNC, I will do this test again, but I doubt that the results will be much different. We have a above 10 watt radio here, 13 watts measured in VHF and UHF. Okay, it's not exactly 15 watts as advertised, but this goes for my meter. Just saying it again, this test, this moment with this meter gave an approximate of 13 watts. I will definitely see other videos with maybe better and more expensive equipment that will do different measurements. We'll be glad and happy to see them. This is what I measured at the moment, and I think we're done. But we're not, because this radio has even more to show. Let me put the antenna back on. Before I continue, I will say this to the other video that I will do for the programming of this radio with the CPS of TYT. This is the cable that arrived with this radio, as you can see from TYT. It looks like a standard Kenwood plug cable for programming, but it's not. Probably I will have to open this at some point to see what's inside. All my other cables that I had from Baofeng, for instance, and the one that I made myself with the FTDI chip, they didn't work. They weren't recognized by this radio. Only this cable was recognized by this radio. I believe that, from what I understand, the chip for the programming of this radio is included inside the radio and not here in the cable. So that's why this didn't work. So I believe that this actually is a dummy cable. It doesn't have a chip here, but I will have to verify it and open it up to see what's inside. Now, what else could this radio have? I mean, it has a huge battery, a huge screen, a display that is quite bright, GPS, Bluetooth, APRS, name it, doesn't make coffee. But yes, we have another thing that is impressive, and this is a spectrum analyzer. And it also is a spectrum analyzer with a waterfall display. Not big, but it's there. Let's see how this works. So, we are at a frequency, okay, doesn't matter, and we press and hold the green button, the menu button. And we go to spectrum analyzer, to a quite extensive spectrum analyzer. Down here you can see the waterfall, okay. Up here you can see various things that you can change, for instance, the mode, the threshold. It shows you how to change them. Here, for instance, the mode, you can change them with the menu button. Here we are at FM narrow, FM, and FM narrow, okay. If we go to an AM frequency, it will write AM here, but this is not an AM frequency. We have the up and down buttons to get the threshold, the squelch value, up and down. The pound button, the hash key, to change the step of the spectrum analyzer, and the star key to change the samples, how many samples we have on the screen. It goes between 111, 45, 55, and 73. Let me put another frequency in. Okay, 44600. Here we are. Look at that. There is a guide, there's a manual for this spectrum analyzer, and I will upload it somewhere and put a link in the description of this video with what you can do while you're here, the various functions of other buttons like PF1 and PF2. For instance, if I press it, PF1 stops scanning and opens the monitor in the last received signal frequency, which here we don't have one at the moment. Maybe I could try another band. Let me see. 125. And here we change to AM, as you can see. With the rotary knob, I can move the spectrum here and fine-tune. You can add channels and frequencies to blacklist so they won't be scanned in the future with the PF2 key. You can copy the frequency that you found the transmission with the PTT key in the VFO and other stuff. But this is a gold mine. I mean, okay, this is one of the best spectrum analyzers I have seen in a handheld radio from the factory, without any firmware modification and stuff like that. I hope you understand that this is a premium radio. It's not your $50 radio, okay? You have to understand this. I don't know exactly the price that will go out in the market. I will have to check it and maybe tell you in the next video, but this is a premium radio and I believe that it's going to be priced as one. But on the other hand, it's the third time I'm going to say this. This looks like a shrinked version of a desktop radio. Right, so, I don't know if you managed to see this video to the end. I hope you did. This is the presentation and the unboxing of the UVL-15W from TYT radios, a real premium handheld ham radio. I was really surprised by the quality this is built, and also I was surprised by the detail and the attention that was given to the operating system of this radio and the features that it has in. It has GPS, Bluetooth, APRS, quite extensive options in all those areas. It has a spectrum analyzer with a waterfall, 2 different transceivers inside, crossband repeater. It has almost everything. Okay, I'm gonna say this jokingly. If you guys from TYT are listening, you forgot to put also a DMR inside. I don't know what to say. I'm really impressed. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this presentation. We will have another video for the programming of this radio through the PC and the CPS software of the company. Have fun. Thank you for watching. Like the video and see you next time.